comes, of course, on 9/11, and this date always will carry with it all the memories of all that was lost on 9/11. It's personal to all of us, including the head coach of the New York Jets. Everyone in the New York metropolitan area seems to have some sort of connection to this particular day. And the New York Jets head coach, Robert Saleh, has an emotional connection to 9/11 that steered him into coaching and eventually the head coach of the New York Jets.
Football, it runs deep. I've got a long lineage of family that has played football, and it started with my father way back in the early 60s.
Football and family always have defined Robert Saleh's journey. Like his older brother David, Robert played football at Fortson High School, just outside Detroit.
There was always a Saleh on our high school football team. Football is life back in Little Dearborn, Michigan.
In 2001, after starting at tight end, Robert graduated from Northern Michigan. He left football behind and went back to his hometown to take a job as a loan applications officer.
My family's background is business and real estate, and had a couple of connections, and I got in.
Meanwhile, Robert's brother David started his new job with investment banking firm Morgan Stanley. His office was in the South Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. His second day on the job was September 11th, 2001.
This just into our newsroom, a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
I remember it vividly. I walk into the house, going through the garage, making a left-hand turn into the TV room, and my mom and dad are just pale-faced. My mom's crying. My dad says the tower got hit by a plane. The second tower gets hit, and my mom loses it. It was a very long day. I think about my mom, you know. It was hard for her. We went all the way through, I want to say 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon before we finally heard from my brother.
I was on the 61st floor. A fireball just came firing across, and I heard a loud thump, like a woof. So I ran, grabbed my things, and took the stairwell. On the 40th floor, a gentleman came on the intercom and said we can all go back to our offices. And there were some people that actually did make a U-turn. And you know, I just kept going down. Well, 24th floor is when the plane came through our towers. You would see stress cracks. The building was swaying. The 11th floor, that's when I seen firefighters running up. The one that I remember the most, he looked like a kid, and he was as white as a t-shirt, and it scared the hell out of me. I called the house, and I heard my mom's voice, assuming I was dead, which is terrifying. I hope nobody ever gets to hear that.
After the unimaginable events of 9/11, Robert reflected on his life and where it was going. And 5 months later, as he watched Super Bowl 36, the game reminded Robert about our country's resilience.
We are all patriots, and tonight, the Patriots are world champions.
And provided the 23-year-old, still working as a financial analyst, with a moment of clarity.
The day after the Super Bowl, he called me up profusely crying, and he tells me that he can't do this and that he had to be on the football field. You know, I asked him a question. I said, well, what are you going to do about it?
I drove to my high school coach's office. He got me in connection with Mike Vollmer, Director of Football Operations at Michigan State. I went up to Bobby Williams. I said, Coach would be a real help if he gave me the GA job. And he gave it to me.
Over the next 20 years, Saleh gained knowledge and experience, recognition and praise. And in January of 2021, he became the head coach of the New York Jets.
Attaboy, good running, good running.
my wife, my 7 kids. FaceTime call from my brother who was crying.
He had his kids. They were all in Jets shirts. He started chanting Jets, 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 Jets. It's great. Great.
My brother, he's part of this. So,
In what way?
every way.
To think that my experience in the World Trade Centers in New York, sparked something in him to chase this dream, and 20 years later to become the 20th head coach of the New York Jets. To me, it's like destiny.
The day is forever devastating for everybody in the New York area, but the Saleh family got out easy that day, and they all will be here tonight to help Robert Saleh launch the 2023 season with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. That day helped bring Robert Saleh to this one. Scott?
Adam, thank you very much. And on this September 11th, as we said when we came on the air at the start of the show, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, it provides an opportunity for Americans to stop and enjoy sports, and for New Yorkers to come together to cheer for whichever shade they're rooting for. Plenty of Western New York in the building.